Hello everyone. In this session, we are going to discuss a package called SymPy. Okay. So in the previous sessions, we discussed some of the built-in libraries, right? Like we have gone through the built-in library NumPy, and then we discussed pandas. Then we have gone through Matplotlib and Seaborn, right? So in this session, we are going to discuss another a package called SymPy. Okay, so what is SymPy and what is the main advantage of using this SymPy in your programming language Pandas? Okay, so its name is indicating it, SymPy. Okay, this SymPy is nothing but symbolic representation. Okay, so whenever you want to represent anything symbolically, then you can go with this package called SymPy. Okay, so whenever you want to perform any algebra related things, okay, you can consider it as computer algebra system. Okay, like you can perform any mathematics related operations. Okay, so this SymPy majorly concentrate on mathematic symbolic representations. Okay, symbolic representations of mathematics can be done with this SymPy package. Okay, so how to use this SymPy package and what are the mathematic related things are involved in this SymPy package we'll discuss now. Okay, so before going to discuss all these things, I would like to give an introduction to this SymPy with the question, why SymPy? Why we need to go with this SymPy package? Okay, from this uh, list, I'll give you some statements like why we need to go with this SymPy, because it is available at free of cost. Okay, and another thing is what are the functions you are using in this SymPy package. All are based on this Python programming language. Nothing but everything is built on this Python programming language. Okay, and another thing is it is lightweight. What do you mean by lightweight? So this package is depending only on MP-Math module. Okay, the module name is MP-Math. This SymPy is based on that MP-Math module where you can perform like floating a point related arithmetic operations. Okay, so this SymPy is based on this MP-Math. So whatever the operations you can perform on floating type, you can perform all those operations. Okay, and the last one is it is a library. What do you mean by library? You can call it as a package, right? So apart from this, SymPy is a package. You can use this SymPy package in another applications also. That is nothing but you can embed this package in some applications. Okay, if you want to embed this a package in some other applications, you can do that. That is another advantage of this SymPy. These are the reasons why we are going with this SymPy package. Okay, so this is the introduction to your SymPy package. Now we basically, when we are working with this SymPy package, we'll be working with symbolic representations, right? So how we can perform these symbolic representations? What do you mean by these symbolic representations and computations? Computation in the sense calculations, right? Is how we are going to perform this symbolic computations with this SymPy. Okay, so whenever you are representing anything in terms of symbols, how those symbols are going to helpful in future. Okay, so I just want to give an example here under this. What is symbolic computation? Okay, I'm writing here what is symbolic computation. So under this symbolic computation, I'll give you one example. Okay, so let us suppose I want to find out square root of any number. Okay, so without writing that operations, I would like to import math module. Okay, So in this math module, we have a function called sqrt. Okay, I'm writing sqrt of 9. When I run this, I'll get that corresponding square root value on the screen, right? See, now if you observe here, 9 is the perfect square root, right? So we have this 3 on the screen because this 9 is having a perfect square root value. Now, if I take some another number, let us suppose I'm writing sqrt of 8. So when I run this, I'll get some different value, right? I didn't get any exact square root value because this 8 is not a perfect square. That is the reason I got a number with some decimal values. Okay, so here I got a number with decimal values. But now my requirement is I don't want that decimal value. I just want to ignore the decimal value. If you go with your mathematics, so whenever you are writing this square root of any number, you can convert those number to some rational numbers, right? If you remember, just have a look once. Now what I'm doing here I'm writing square root of, I can write this 8 in terms of 4 multiplied by 2, right? Okay, if I write like this, now what I can do here, I can split this square root into two parts, right? This square root of 4, this is square root of 4, and then multiplied by square root of 2. Okay, so when you are writing like this, now square root of 4 value is again 2. Now you can simplify that statement, right? Now how can I write this statement? For this statement, you can directly write 2 next square root of 2, right? So now I want square root of 8 value like this. I hope you remember all this stuff. Okay, so here I'm just splitting my number into two values and then I'm taking square root for those two values. Okay, so now my requirement is whenever I'm finding square root of a non-perfect square value, I want input for that non-perfect value, output should be as a rational number. Okay, that is my requirement. We cannot do that using this math sqrt, right? Now you can go with your SymPy package. Okay, now I'm importing SymPy. I want to import all the functions of SymPy. So I'm writing from SymPy import all because we are going to discuss multiple functions in this session. So I don't want to import all the functions again and again. So I'm importing all the functions using asterisk. Now when I run this, it will take some time to load in your Jupyter file. You just wait for a couple of minutes. Now it is done, right? Now I'm using that sqrt. When I'm writing sqrt directly, that function is taken from this SymPy package. Okay, so now I'm executing this. Now can you see we got that square root value. Now I'm calculating square root of 8. Yes. Now try to understand the difference between that math sqrt and this SymPy sqrt. Now if you see, you got this rational value, right? When you use that sqrt from math, you got some 2-point change value, right? Like 2.82 something. Okay, so to avoid these type of values, if you want a value in this way, you can go with this SymPy package. Okay, now you might think I don't want this rational value, I want that floating point value itself. Then you can use this n function. When you write this sqrt of 8 inside this n function, then you'll get that decimal point value here. Yeah, in this way, this SymPy package is useful here. Okay, this is a simple example. Now if you want to represent in markdown like this, then you can go with show math as and then select text commands. Okay, now can you see it is giving some information here. You just copy that and then paste it in your markdown cell. Now go back to your cell and make it as markdown. Now I'm pasting that. Now you just mention these things inside dollar sign. Okay, this is for latex representation. Can you see? Now in your markdown, it is represented as it is. So if you want to represent any mathematical representations in your markdowns, this is also useful in this way. This is nothing but SymPy package. Okay, so this is how we'll represent our symbols using SymPy package. Now we are going to discuss the power of symbolic computation. Okay, so whatever we are discussing, I have given notes for all these things. You can refer later. Okay, so what is the power of symbolic representation? I'll give you some domains where we can use this symbolic representations. Okay, so the first thing where you can use these symbolic representations, we'll go one by one. Okay, so whenever you want to find out a differentiation, okay, you have to go back to your mathematics. So whenever you want to find out a differentiation, okay, so first thing you can perform differentiation. Okay, what is my first requirement here? I want to find out differentiation of sin x, okay, then e power x. Okay, I'm not writing it here directly. So whenever you want to perform differentiation on this function, okay, then how you are going to do that? First, you need to create a variable x, okay, and then you need to apply differentiation on this function. Then how to create a variable x? So whenever you want to create variable in this SymPy package, you need to go with one function called symbols. Okay, here you just, if you want to view, you can view here. What is the name you want to give yours to your symbol? You need to mention here. My symbol name should be x. Okay, I'm storing it in some variable x. Now I'm done with that variable creation. Now I want to implement differentiation on this function. So you will be having a function with the name diff. Okay, this diff function is for finding differentiation. So what is your function? Sin x multiplied by e power x. Okay, for representing e power x, we have one built-in function exponential. Okay, this is my function now. On this function, I want to apply differentiation. Based on which variable you want to apply differentiation? Variable x. So you need to mention that variable here. If you remember d by dx, that representation will be like this, right? Is d by dx of your function, that is sin x multiplied by exponential x. This is what it is going to perform now. Okay, the calculated value will be written on the screen. Okay, when I'm taking differentiation of sin x into e power x, this is the value which will get here. Okay, so in this way we can use a SymPy package for calculating differentiation. Okay, and you can use this SymPy package for finding integral also, like integrations. Okay, whenever you want to perform integration on any function, then you can go with this SymPy package. Now the next one is we are going to find out integration. Okay, now look at the screen once. So here first you need to use the function name as integrate. Whenever you want to find out integration of any function, you need to use the function integrate. For differentiation, the function name is diff. Okay, so here what I want to do here is I want to find out integration of e power x sin x plus, like let it be e power x cos x. Okay, let's take function here as e power x sin x plus e power x cos x. Okay, I want to find out integration for this function. How to do that? So whenever you want to find out integration, you need to use integrate function. Here you need to write your function exponent multiplied by sine of x. Okay, and then plus same exponent x next multiplied by cos x. Okay, with respect to x. Okay, now try to run this. It will give you the integrated value on the screen. This is, see, when you perform integration with respect to x on this expression, you'll get this value. Okay, in this way you can find out integration. The same way you can use limits. If you remember, you can give limits, right, for any variable. Here we are using a single variable x, right? So I'm writing limit on that x variable with some expression. Okay, now look at the screen once, how we can give limit values. Okay, let us suppose I have a function. Okay, let me take some function like I'm using trigonometric functions here. Let us say take sin x by x as my function. Okay, so I want to give my x value limit as 0. Okay, so whenever you want to use this type of things, you need to go with this limit function. Sin of x by x is my expression, and for which variable you want to give limit. Okay, my variable is, see, you can see here expression and your variable name and value. Okay, here my variable name is x and I want to start, I mean my x value tends to 0. Okay, so now try to run this. Okay, it will give you value on the screen. I don't know why it is taking much time. Yes, can you see here? When I run this, I got the value 1 here. Like this, you can give limit values to your variables. So in this way, you can use this SymPy for finding differentiation, integration, and limits. Okay. In the same way, you can solve some equations also. Okay, I'll show you how to solve equations using this SymPy package. You will be having different things here. So you can create functions and you can pass some value to your function variables. Okay, now we'll see how we are going to create functions here. Okay, so I already told you, whenever you want to use some variables, you need to go with symbols function, right? Now I want to create two variables. Now you can write like this for creating multiple variables here. Okay, x space y for creating two variables. Now I have created two variables. Now I want to write one function here. Okay, so I'm writing my function like x square plus 1 by x minus 1. Okay, so this is my function. On this function, I want to substitute one value for variable x and I want to find out the value. Okay, I'm just taking these examples for understanding purpose. Okay, so x square plus 1 by, let me take x minus 1 as my function. Okay, so for this function, I want to pass some value for this variable x. Okay, I want to substitute one value for this variable x. So whenever you want to substitute a value, then you need to use subs function. Okay, so here you need to mention your variable name and the value which you want to substitute. Now here I'm writing f dot subs x comma 2. Now when I run this, I'll get that value on the screen. Okay, this 2 power 2 values 4. Then 4 plus 1 will be in your numerator. Okay. So after finding numerator value, then control goes to denominator. Okay. In your denominator, what you are writing here, I'm writing x minus 1. That is nothing but 2 minus 1. It will be 1. So the result will be 4 plus 1, that is 5. That value will be written on the screen. Okay, this is how you can substitute values. Here, if you observe, in my function, I'm using a single variable, right? Now my requirement is, I want to use two variables. Okay, so let me take my requirement like x square minus y square. Okay, in denominator, I want to write x minus y. So this is my numerator, and in my denominator, I'm writing x minus y. If you observe, here I'm using two variables x and y. Okay, using symbols, I already created two variables x and y, right? Now I can use that with this function. So I'm going to create another function. Okay, now I'm writing some g equals to. Okay, what I want to do here, I want to write x square minus y square. In denominator, I want to write x minus y. Okay, so if you want to substitute values for x and y, again you need to use subs. Okay, but here we have two variables, right? For single variable, you're directly writing x comma y. When you have multiple variables, then you need to use a list. Inside that list, each and every variable with value is represented as tuple. Okay, now my x value is, I'm giving it as a 2. Let me take y value as 3. Okay, so when you run this, you'll get that value, calculated value on the screen. X square value is 4. 4 minus 9 is minus 5. In the denominator, 2 minus 3 is minus 1. Minus 1 minus get cancelled, and that a final result will be displayed on the screen. This is how you can solve a simple equations. Okay, this is comes under solving equations. And the next one is expanded expressions. How you can expand your expression. This is very interesting if you observe clearly. Okay, so whenever you want to expand any expression, we'll be using some function. Okay, let me take, like, before I will create an expression first. So I'm writing x plus 1 whole square. Okay, so this is, you know the formula, right? A plus b whole square. In the similar way, I'm writing x plus 1 whole square. So this f returns. Now when I write f, I didn't execute this. That is the reason it is giving some other output. Okay, now if you observe, x plus 1 whole square, it is giving it. Whatever you are writing in your Python syntax, it is converted to some SymPy representation, like symbolic representation, right? Now I want to expand this expression, like I want to write x square plus 2x plus 1. So whenever you want to expand any expression, then you need to go with some another function, expand. Now I'm writing that expand function here, f dot expand. When you run this, you'll get that expanded expression here. So in this way, you can expand any expression. Clear? If you are using that function or expression variable name directly, it will give you that symbolic representation. When you want to expand that equation or statement more, then you can go with this expand function. Okay, so let me take another function, some f equals to, I'm writing some another, right, equation here. Let me write this as x plus 2 into, let me write x minus 3. Okay, so when you run this, if you try to print that, it is giving x minus 3 into x plus 2 value, right? If you want to calculate you can directly write expand. When you run this, you'll get that expanded equation on the screen. Okay, so here I don't want to expand my equation. I want to find out factors of my equation. Okay, here we discussed expanded. Now then in the next statement, I want to find out factors of my equation. Okay, let me take equation first. I'm writing some cubed root values here. I'm writing x cube minus x square plus x minus 1. Okay, for this expression, I want to find out factors. Okay, so whenever you want to find out factors, you can directly use factor function. Okay, when you write a factor of this expression, it will give you the factors of that given expression. Okay, so this is how you can simply solve your equations. Okay, these are some of the examples. So and we have some built-in functions, okay, which are very interesting if you go with this SymPy. Okay, so you'll find some basic functions like pprint, like if you take a print, that print will print whatever you will give inside that print function, right? So along with that, you have some pprint function also. I will discuss that pprint now. The next function which we are going to discuss is pprint and collect. Okay, how this pprint will work. Okay, first let me create some variables. Now I'm creating two variables using this symbols. Okay, first variable name space second space third. Now I'm done with this. Now I want to create some expression. Okay, so now I'm creating an expression and I'm storing it in f. Let me write some expression here. I'm taking something randomly, x multiplied y and plus x minus 3. What should I take here? Some number. Then let me raise power of x to 3 minus some z x squared. Okay, I'm just giving some values randomly here. You just don't worry about those values. Okay, for easy understanding, I'm taking some coefficients and some different powers here. Now I want to use p print here, p print of f. This is my expression. I want to print that expression on the screen. When you run this, so can you see this p print is giving you the symbolic representations, right? This prints the different normal latex style of expressions. Whenever you want to use this p print is also known as pretty printer. Okay, this will represent your expressions in a different style. Okay, if you take this expression here, x cube is here, this is represented like this. Next, z multiplied by x square, this is x square into z, then 2x square xy plus x minus 3. The power of x is decreasing to the next element, right? In this way your values will be given here. Now if you want to perform any operations, like all my x cube values will be represented here. Okay, first x cube values and then x square value is taken as common element, and then here we have two x square values, right? That is 2 minus z. If I take that x square as common, and here power x value is, we have again two elements. Okay, you can write it as y plus 1 and then minus 3. Can you write like this for the same expression, right? See, in this expression can be written in this way also. Yes or no? So if you want to get your representation like this. Then you can go with the method called collect. This collect will collect all the same uh, power values of the variable, and it will take some common elements and it will represent your expression like this. Okay, that is the use of collect function. Okay, here I'm writing collect. Then what is your expression? My expression is f. Based on which variable you want to collect? Based on x. Okay, now run this. Can you see the difference between the previous things and this one? See, this is different, right? Now it is collecting all x variable values based on the power values. Clear? This is the use of your collect function. For this reason, I have given this type of expression over there with different powers and a combination of powers. Here x square value I am given, here x square, here x and x. So here with respective to my x variable, I want to collect. That is the reason it is giving your value like this. Okay, this is the use of collect function. Okay, not only collect, you will be having some different functions. I will discuss some more functions here. So another function you need to understand here is simplify. Okay, we simplify with a combination of apart. Okay, I'll use the simplify and apart on same expression. Then you'll understand clearly how this simplify is working and how this apart is working. For this, I have taken some simple equation or simple expression. See, only for clear understanding purpose, I have selected some expressions. You can take any expressions of your wish. Okay, so now I thought this expression will give more clear understanding for understanding these simplify and apart functions. Okay, so I'm writing my equation like x square plus 2x plus 1 in my numerator. In my denominator, I'm writing x square plus x. Okay, let me take this as my expression. Now I'm applying simplify on this expression. I'm writing simplify of f. Okay, so if you observe, x square plus 2x plus 1 can be written as x plus 1 whole square, right? Okay, what will be the value? You just try to understand. The numerator can be written as x plus 1 whole square. Yes or no? Then in denominator, you can take x as common and then denominator will become x multiplied by x plus 1. Now from this square value, you can remove this x plus 1 value, right? Now you can make your power as 1. Then what will be the result? The result will be x plus 1 by x. Yes or no? X plus 1 by x will be the result. Okay. So when you are using simplify, the simplify function gives you this value on the screen. Okay. So if you want to simplify this one more step, how can you do that? See, you can divide the denominator for each and every element of numerator, right? You can write x by x plus 1 by x. Yes or no? In the next step, this x by x get cancelled and then you'll get 1 plus 1 by x value. Okay. So if you want to get this value, you need to use apart. Okay. Why we are calling it as apart? It is dividing denominator for each and every element of numerator. So if you want to get output like this, then you need to use simplify. Okay, so this is the output given by simplify, and this is the output which is given by apart. Okay, so based on your requirement, you can go with any of these two functions. Now try to run this. See, as we discussed, it is giving x plus 1 by x as your output. Now I'm writing a part here. I'm writing a part of f. Can you see? This apart is working differently, right? So this is the difference between simplify and apart. Okay. So these are the basic mathematics related functions, right? So now I want to introduce a trigonometry related functions. Okay. So we can use this SymPy package for trigonometry functions also. Okay. So if you remember, what are the things comes under trigonometry? Like sine, cos, tan, okay, cosec and sec. All these things comes under trigonometry, right? Now we are going to discuss some trigonometry related functions. Okay, how these trigonometry related functions will work with this SymPy package. Now we are going to understand here with some expression. Okay, like I want to take some expression with the combination of sine, tan, and sec. Okay, now I'm writing sin x multiplied by tan x. Okay, the denominator I'm taking secant x. Okay, so if you remember this trigonometry related things, before that I just want to display that in a symbolic representation like this. Okay, so this is my symbolic representation of this Python expression. Okay, this can be written like this internally actually. Okay, so now how this will get calculated and how it is going to be simplified. Okay, this is sin x and this tan x can be written as sin x by cos x, right? If you remember. Okay, so in the denominator what we have, sec x. So how we can write this sec? 1 by cos, yes or no? Okay, so if you observe here, this 1 by cos x and this cos x can get cancelled because both are in denominator, they can get cancelled. Okay, so now I'm getting cancel these two things. So in numerator what we have, sin x multiplied by sin x, yes or no? In the denominator we have 1, so you can ignore that 1 here. Okay, so now after calculating this we'll get sin square x, yes or no? After calculating all these operations we'll get this sin square x value on the screen. Now when I'm trying to simplify this expression, this trigonometric expression, I'll get this sin square x value at the end. Okay, now uh, check it out once. Okay, you already know simplify function, right? This simplify function will simplifies your expression. Now try to run this. Can you see? You got this value on the screen after performing all the operations. Okay. In the similar way for trigonometric functions, you can use this trig sim function. Okay, this is for trigonometric simplifications. Now when you run this, you'll get the same output on the screen. Okay, you can use simplify or trig sim functions. Okay, see in the similar way for this simplify, for trigonometric we have expand trig function also for expanding your trigonometric expression. Okay, let me take one more example here. I'm writing sin x plus y. Okay, so if you observe here, I didn't run this, sorry. Okay, this is my trigonometric expression. Okay, I want to expand that expression. When I'm writing expand of f, you already know this expand function will expand your expression, right? When I'm running this, can you see? Did you find any difference between these representations? No, right? There is no differentiation between that simple f and expand f. Now how to expand this trigonometric expression? It is not possible using that simple expand function, right? Now you need to go with expand trig function. Okay, when I write expand trig of f, now it will give you the expanded value of your trigonometry function sine x plus y. So whenever you want to expand trigonometric expressions, you need to go with this expand trig instead of this simple expand. The simple expand can be worked with your simple function. Okay, so whenever you're dealing with a trigonometry functions, then better to go with this expand trig function. I hope it is clear. Okay, so now let me use this expand trig on some another function. Like instead of creating a function or expression and directly passing it to this function, you can write your expression here directly. Okay, now I'm writing this tan 2x. Okay, so when you're writing like this, it will give you that expanded expression on the screen. This is how you can use expand, expand trig, simplify, and trig sim. Okay, these are different functions available in your SimPy related to trigonometry. Okay, and even you can use this SimPy package along with Matplotlib. Okay, whenever you want to visualize anything through a plot, you can do that using the combination of this SimPy along with Matplotlib package. Okay, now I just want to view that sine wave. Okay, I want to view sine wave. Okay, sine function of wave I want to view. So this sine function can be available. Sine function is available in your SimPy, right? So using that SimPy sine function, I want to take some values and I want to put the respective values on the screen using Matplotlib. You can do that. Okay, so here you need to use one function is called lambdify. Okay, the function name is lambdify. Okay, so how this lambdify function will work and what is the use of this lambdify function? This lambdify function converts SimPy expression into Python function. Okay, so in this SimPy you'll be having expressions, right? If you want to convert those expressions into Python functions, then you need to use this lambdify function. Now I'm going to use this lambdify function for converting my SimPy expression to Python function, and I'm going to store that function in some variable, and then I'm passing that function to my plotting. Like I'm going to use a simple plot which is there in your Matplotlib. Okay, before going to import all these, first you need to create a Python function for this sine function. For that we need to use this lambdify. Okay, if you observe, this lambdify is expecting argument, expression and module. Okay, so first I want to use my argument. Let me take some variable x. Okay, and my expression is sin x. Okay, and which modules you want to use? Here I want to use numpy module. You'll understand why we are using numpy. Okay, I want to use this numpy module here. Okay, so when you run this expression will be converted to Python function. So I'm going to store that Python function in some variable fx. Okay, so until now we have created a function. Okay, so now for x variable, you need to pass some values, right? So from where you are going to pass some values? For that reason, I'm taking a variable with the name x value. Okay, so whenever you want to represent your sine wave, okay, you need to take some large number values. Okay, let me take, I want to take x values as some 100. Okay, I want to create 100 values. Okay, so you cannot do that manually, right? You have some built-in function, linspace. If you remember, we have this linspace function in NumPy package. Did you remember? Okay, so I'm importing that from NumPy, import linspace. Okay, so this linspace accepts two values, three values, start, stop, and how many equal parts you want to divide. Those values should be accepted by linspace, right? Now I'm going to pass those values. Okay, let us suppose I want to give my starting value as like we are representing this values in radians, right, for this sine function. So I want to take minus pi to plus pi. Okay, minus 182 plus 180 values I want to give it to linspace. So without writing that pi, you can directly import that pi from math module. From math, import pi. Now I'm going to use that pi for my linspace. What I'm doing here, minus pi and plus pi, and I want to generate 100 values using this linspace. Okay, so now I want to plot a graph. So now I'm writing import matplotlib.pyplot as plt. Okay, now I imported matplotlib package. Now try to write your plot syntax. Okay, this plot will accept values from the user, right? On x-axis, what you want to represent? I want to represent x values. On y-axis, what values you want to represent? Fx of x values. Okay, so if you want to give any labeling, okay, if you want to give any labels, we will do that later. Okay, so now try to run this. It is not displaying any plot, right? You can directly write plt.show. Okay, can you see? See, when your plot is now displayed on the screen, you can use plt.show. Now I got sine wave, right? I want to give some title for x-axis and y-axis and titles. So here I'm writing plt dot x label. Okay, on x label I'm representing x values, right? So I'm writing x val. On y-axis, what I'm representing sin x values, right? So you can write fx equals to sin x values. Okay, and what you are representing here, sine wave, right? You can give some title to it. Okay, I'm just giving title like sine wave. Okay, now try to run this. It looks pretty cool, right? So here you are using a built-in function of SymPy package sinx, and then you are using lambdify function for converting this symbolic representation into Python function. That is the reason we are writing like this. Okay, so using linspace, we are creating some values in between the given range, minus pi to plus pi, and here I'm taking 100 points. Okay, so I'm displaying those 100 points corresponding sine values on the screen. This is how you can work with this. Okay, you can see here, right? I have given marker as O. Let me give some different color. Okay, you can make any changes. We have already discussed about this matplotlib, right? So in this way you can do any changes to your plot, but here I'm using the simple one. Okay, so this is how you can work with your SymPy package. Okay, so not only this, you'll be having so many things along with this SymPy. I have given an overview on this SymPy package. Okay, so in this way, whenever you want to represent anything symbolically, if you want any symbolic representations of any expression, then you can go with this SymPy package. Okay, that is it from my end for this SymPy package. Okay, thank you all.